Hello everyone, I am Aishwarya and my team members Rishita and Harini. We are from Group 10 and today we are presenting the paper Scaling Java Points to Analysis using Spark. This paper introduces Spark, a flexible framework for experimenting with points to analysis for Java. Spark supports equality and subset based analysis. Variations in field sensitivity, respect for declared types, variations in call graph construction, offline simplification, and several solving algorithms. Spark is composed of building blocks on which new analysis can be based. The paper demonstrates Spark in a substantial study of factors affecting precision and efficiency of subset based points to analysis, including interactions between these factors. The results show that Spark is not only flexible and modular but also offers superior time or space performance when compared to other points to analysis implementations. Many compiler analysis and optimizations, as well as program understanding and verification tools, require information about which objects each pointer in a program may point to at a runtime. With many compiler analysis, a precision versus time trade off exists for points to analysis. For analyzing programs written in C, many points between the extremes of high precision, slow, and low precision, fast have been explored. These analyses have been implemented as parts of distinct systems, so it is difficult to compare and combine their unique features. The design trade offs for doing points to analysis for Java appear to be different than for C. And recently, several different approaches to points to analysis for Java has been suggested. It is hard to compare the results since each group has implemented their analysis in a different system and has made very different assumptions about how to handle the large Java class libraries and Java native methods. So, in order to address these issues, the Spark, that is Suit Pointer Analysis Research Kit, which is used here for points to analysis for Java. As described before, Spark stands for Suit Pointer Analysis Research Kit. It's a flexible framework for experimenting with points to analysis for Java. Now, the pointer assignment graph that it produces and simplifies can be used as input to other solvers, including those being developed by other researchers. It will make it easier for researchers to compare results. In addition, the correctness of new analysis can be verified by comparing their results to those computed by the basic analysis provided in Spark. In order to demonstrate the usefulness of the framework, a substantial empirical study of a variety of subset based points analysis using Spark has also been performed. A variety of factors affect both precision and time or space costs. The results show that Spark is not only flexible and modular, but also offers very good time or space performance when compared to other point to analysis implementations. There are specific new contributions made in this paper. The Spark framework itself is available as a part of Suite 1.2.4 and it presents a study of a variety of representations for points to sets and of a variety of solving strategies, including an incremental worklist based field sensitive algorithm which appears to scale well to larger benchmarks. A report on an empirical evaluation of many factors affecting the precision, speed, and memory requirements of subset based points to analysis algorithms. And also, the paper makes recommendations to allow analysis to scale to program on the order of 1,000,000 lines of codes. Even a trivial Java program are becoming this large on the standard class library grows. The paper performs some of these where it examines some of the challenges and factors to consider when designing an effective point to analysis for Java, also introduces the Spark framework and discusses the important components, and in action via a large empirical study of a variety of subset pointer analysis. And in the final sections, we can see what future work can be performed. Moving ahead, points to analysis for Java. Now, although some of the techniques which were developed for C have also been adapted to Java, there are significant differences between the two languages that affect points to analysis. Let's see how. In C, points to analysis can be viewed as two separate problems. One, analysis of stack directed pointers, and another, analysis of heap directed pointers. Now, most of the C programs have many more occurrences of the address of, that is the ampersand operator, which creates stack directed pointers, than dynamic allocation sites, which create heap directed pointers. So, it is therefore important for C points to analysis to deal with stack directed pointers more. Java, on the other hand, allows no stack directed pointers whatsoever, and Java programs usually have many more dynamic allocation sites than C programs of similar size. So, Java analysis therefore have to handle heap directed pointers well. So, that's a major difference. Another important difference is a strong type checking in Java, which limits the set of objects that a pointer could point to and can therefore be used to improve analysis, speed, and precision. The study shows that using types in Java is very useful for improving efficiency and also results in a small improvement in precision. Now, we all know the object oriented nature of Java. So, this also introduces new complexities in dealing with any whole program analysis. Now, in order to build a call graph, some approximation of the targets of virtual method calls must be used. Now, there are two basic approaches. The first is to use an approximation of the call graph built by another analysis. The second approach is to construct the call graph on the fly as the pointer analysis proceeds. And in the empirical study, we compare the two approaches. Finding the set of methods that must be analyzed is another problem of finding a call graph. Now, in sequential C programs, there is one entry which is the main, and a whole program analysis can start at this entry point and then incrementally call other methods. In Java, the situation is much more complicated as there are many potential entry points including static initializers, finalizers, thread start methods, and method called using reflection. Further complicating matters are native methods which may impact points to analysis but for which we do not have the code to analyze. So the Spark framework addresses these points. As we all know, when coding in Java, we use Java libraries, and it is important to note that the size of these Java libraries is large. Even small application programs may touch or appear to touch a large part of the Java libraries. This means that the whole program analysis must be able to handle large program sizes. Existing points to analysis for Java have been successfully tested for 1.1.8 version of Java standard libraries consisting of 148,000 lines of code. However, current version of standard libraries are over 3 times larger than that. So, the Spark framework has been designed to provide the tools to develop efficient and scalable analysis which can effectively handle such large libraries too. Until now, we discussed why Java points to analysis is different and what makes it difficult for analysis. Now, let's see how the Spark framework helps us in doing points to analysis for Java. As mentioned before, Spark is a flexible framework for experimenting with pointers to analysis for Java. Although Spark is very competitive in efficiency with other point to analysis systems, the main design goal was not raw speed but rather the flexibility to make implementing a variety of analysis as easy as possible to facilitate comparison of existing analysis and development of new ones. Spark supports both subset based and equality based analysis, as well as variations that lie between these two extremes. The paper focuses on the more precise subset based analysis. Although Spark is limited to flow insensitive analysis, most of the benefit of flow sensitivity is obtained by splitting variables. Spark is implemented as part of Suite bytecode analysis, optimization, and annotation framework. So it accepts Java bytecode as input and then converts it into several intermediate representations, applies analysis and transformations, and converts the result back to bytecode. Spark uses as its input the Jimple intermediate representation, which is a three-address representation in which local variables have been split according to DUUD webs and declared types have been inferred for them. So it also provides an annotation framework that can be used to encode the results in a class file annotations for use by other tools or runtime systems. The execution of Spark can be divided into three stages: pointer assignment graph construction, pointer assignment graph simplification, and points to set propagation. These three stages are described in the further subsections. The Jimple intermediate representation is the input used by Spark, which is a three-address representation. Now, it is a simplified version of Java source code that has a maximum of 3 components per statement. It is typed, has a concrete syntax, and is based on 3-address code. Jimple includes only 15 different operations, thus simplifying flow analysis. By contrast, Java bytecode includes over 200 different operations. Unlike Java bytecode, in Jimple, local and stack variables are typed and Jimple is inherently type safe. Converting to Jimple or Jimplifying is conversion of bytecode to 3-address code. The idea behind the conversion is to associate a variable to each position in the stack, hence stack operations become assignments involving the stack variables. Suit also provides an annotation framework that can be used to encode results in class file annotations for use by other tools or run by systems. It provides results that can be used by others to analyze and transform the code. The execution of Spark has 3 different stages, and let's look at each stage clearly. The first stage of Spark, the pointer assignment graph builder, constructs the pointer assignment graph from the Jimple input. Now it uses the pointer assignment graph as its internal representation of the program being analyzed. Separating the builder from the solver makes it possible to use the same solution algorithms and implementations to solve different variations of the points to analysis problem. So the graph, that is the pointer assignment graph, it consists of 3 types of nodes. Allocation site nodes represent allocation sites in the source program and are used to model heap locations. And there are simple variable nodes which represent local variables, method parameters and return values, and static fields. And there is field dereference nodes which represent field access expressions in the source program. Each is parameterized by a variable node representing the variable being dereferenced by the field access. Now the nodes in the pointer assignment graph are connected with 4 types of edges reflecting the pointer flow corresponding to 4 types of constraints imposed by the pointer related instructions in the source program. Depending on the parameters to the builder, the pointer assignment graph for the same source code can be very different, reflecting varying level of precision desired for the points to analysis. As an example, the builder may make assignments directed for a subset-based analysis or bidirectional for an equality-based analysis. Another example is a representation of field dereference expression in the graph. Now let's look at what is field dereference expression. A field expression, which is p.f, refers to the field f of the object pointed to by p. There are 3 standard ways of dealing with fields. A field-sensitive interpretation, which is the most precise, considers p.f to represent only the field f of only objects in the points to set of p. A less precise is the field-based interpretation, which approximates each field f of all objects using a single set, ignoring the p. Now the key advantage of this is the points to sets can be propagated along a pointer assignment graph of only simple variable nodes in one single iteration, by merging strongly connected components of nodes, then propagating in topological order. Many C points to analysis use a field independent interpretation which ignores the F and approximate all the field of objects in the points to a set of P as a single location. But in Java, the field information is readily available and different fields are guaranteed not to be aliased, so a field independent interpretation makes little sense. Spark supports field sensitive and field based analysis, and field independent analysis would be very trivial to implement. Call graph construction. What is it? An interprocedural points to analysis requires an approximation of the call graph. Now, this can be constructed in advance using a technique such as CHA, RTA, or VTA, or it can be constructed on the fly as the points of sets of call site receivers are computed. The latter approach gives somewhat higher precision but requires more iteration as edges are added to the pointer assignment graph. Spark supports all of these variations, but in this paper, the empirical study focuses on CHA and the on-the-fly call graph construction. Spark always uses CHA call graph builder included in the suite to determine which methods are reachable for the purpose of building the pointer assignment graph. However, on-the-fly call graph construction can be achieved at solving time by excluding interprocedural edges from the initial graph and then adding only the reachable edges as the points of sets are propagated. In theory, determining which methods are possibly reachable at runtime is simple. So just start with the root set containing the main method and transitively add all methods which are called from method in the set. Now Java is not simple. However, execution can also start at like static initializers, finalizers, thread start methods, dynamic call sites using reflection. So suite considers all these factors and in determining which methods are reachable and which are the entry points. For many call sites using reflection inside the standard class library, we have compiled by hand a list of their possible targets and they are automatically added to the root set. Also, native methods may affect the flow of pointers in Java programs, so Spark therefore includes a native method simulation framework as well. So the effects of each of the native method are described in the framework using Java abstract code, and Spark then creates the corresponding pointer flow edges. The native method simulation framework was designed to be independent of Spark, so the simulations of native methods should be usable by other analysis as well. The second stage of Spark is points to assignment graph simplification. So before points to sets are propagated, the pointer assignment graph can be simplified by merging nodes that are known to have the same points to set. Specifically, all the nodes in a strongly connected component, that is a cycle, will have equal points to set. So they can be merged to a single node. So we are focusing on redundancy and removing those. A version of the offline variable substitution algorithm given is also used to merge equivalent sets of nodes that have a single common precedent. Spark uses a fast union find algorithm to merge nodes in time almost linear in the number of nodes. So this is the same algorithm which is used for equality based analysis. So therefore, by making all edges bidirectional and merging nodes forming strongly connected components, we can implement a equality based analysis in Spark. In fact, we can easily implement a hybrid analysis which is partly equality based and partly subset based by making only some of the edges bidirectional. Now, one such instance of a similarly hybrid analysis is described here in paper 8. Even when performing a fully subset-based analysis, we can use the same unification code to simplify the pointer assignment graph. So, set implementations. In order to do an effective analysis, we need to choose an appropriate set representation for the points to set, which is a key part of designing them. Now the following implementations are currently included as part of Spark. So let's look at them. There is hash set, which is a wrapper for the hash set implementation from the standard class library. Now it is provided as a baseline against which even other set implementations can be compared. There is sorted array set, which implements a set using array which is always kept in sorted order. This makes it possible to compute the union of two sets in linear time like a merge sort. And then there is bit set, which implements a set in a bit vector format. This makes set operations very fast regardless of how large the set gets. But the only drawback here is many sparse sets use a very large amount of memory. And there is also a hybrid set representation. So this represents small sets like up to 16 elements explicitly using pointers to elements themselves, but switches to a bit vector representation when the sets grow larger, so thus allowing both small and large sets to be represented efficiently. Moving to the last step of execution in Spark, that is points to sets propagation. After the point assignment graph has been built and simplified, the final step is propagating the points to set all along its edges according to the rules shown. Now Spark provides several different algorithms to implement these rules. One of them is iterative algorithm and the other one is a work list algorithm. Let's look at iterative algorithm. Spark includes a naive baseline iterative algorithm that can be used to check the correctness of the results of the more complicated algorithms. Note that for efficiency, all the propagation algorithms in Spark consider variable nodes in topological order or pseudo-topological order if cycles have not been simplified. Here is a short representation of how iterative algorithm looks. Next, worklist algorithm. For some of our benchmarks, the iterative algorithm performs over 60 iterations. After the first few iterations, the points to set grows very little, yet each iteration is as expensive as the first few. A better but more complex solver based on worklist is also provided as part of your Spark and is outlined in algorithm 2, that is worklist algorithm. This solver maintains a worklist of variable nodes whose points to set needs to be propagated to the successors so that only those nodes that are considered for propagation. In the presence of field sensitivity, however, the worklist algorithm is not so simple. Whenever a variable node P appears in the worklist, which means that its point to set as new nodes in it that need to be propagated, the algorithm propagates along edges of the form P towards Q, but also loads and stores involving P, since they are likely to require propagation. However, this is not sufficient to obtain the complete solution. For example, suppose that A in the points of sets of both P and Q, so that P and Q are possible aliases. After processing any store into Q.F, which we could process all loads from P.F. However, there is no guarantee that P will appear in the worklist. For this reason, the algorithm must still include an outer iteration over all the load and store edges. To summarize, in the above algorithm from line 16 to 22, in the outer loop are necessary for correctness. Lines 18 to 14 could be removed, but including them greatly reduces the number of iterations of the outer loop and therefore reduces the analysis time. Incremental sets. So, in certain implementation of sets, like for example hash set and sorted array set, each set union operation takes time proportional to the size of the set being combined. So while iterating through an analysis, the contents of one set are repeatedly merged in the contents of another set, often adding only a small number of new elements in each iteration. Now we can improve the algorithm by noting that these elements that have been already been propagated must be found in the set in every subsequent iteration. Thus, an optional improvement, that is, Spark can include versions of the solver that use incremental sets. In this, each set will be divided into new part and an old part. So during each iteration, elements are propagated only between the new parts, which are likely to be small. At the end of each iteration, all the new parts are flushed into their corresponding old part. An additional advantage of this is when constructing the call graph on the fly. Only the smaller new part of the points to set of the receiver of each call site needs to be considered in each iteration, thus reducing the time involved. Let's see how we can use Spark for subset-based points to analysis. Now, in order to demonstrate the Spark provides a general and effective means to express different points to analysis, there is an extensive empirical study of a variety of subset-based points to analysis. By expressing many different variations within the same framework, we can measure both precision and cost of the analysis. Spark has been tested on benchmarks from the SPEC JVM suite along with SABLECC and suite from the Ashes suite and JEdit, a fully featured editor written in Java. The last three were selected because they were non-trivial Java applications used in the real world, and they were also used in points to analysis studies. The complete list of benchmark appears in the summary at the end. The four chosen representative benchmarks for which to present the detailed studies of the experiments on individual factors affecting precision and efficiency of points to analysis. Compress as a small spec JVM benchmark, Java C as a large spec JVM benchmark have been chosen, and SABLECC and JEdit has large non-spec JVM benchmarks written by distinct groups of people, and is observed similar trends on other benchmarks as well. Let's look at the factors which affect precision. As discussed, three factors that affect not only the efficiency of the analysis but also the precision of the results are how types are used in the analysis, whether we use a CHA based call graph or build a call graph on the fly, and whether the analysis is field sensitive or field based. For each benchmark, the experiment with 5 different points to analysis, where each analysis is named by a triple of the form XX, YYY, ZZ, which specifies the setting for each of the three factors. For each benchmark or points to analysis combination, we give a summary of the precision for dereference sites and call sites. For dereference sites, we consider all occurrences of the references of the form P.F and we give the percentage of dereference sites with 0, 1 to 3 to 10, 11 to 100, 101 to 1000 and more than 1000 elements in their points of sets. And for call sites, we consider all invoke virtual and invoke interface calls and report the percentage of such call sites with 0, 1, 2 and more than 2 target methods, when the target methods are found using the types of allocation sites pointed by the receiver of the method call. Moving to representing and respecting the declared types. Now, unlike in C, variables in Java are very strongly typed, limiting the possible set of objects to which a pointer could point. However, many points to analysis adapted from C do not take advantage of this. For example, the analysis described ignore declared types as the analysis proceeds. However, objects of incompatible type are removed after the analysis completes. Removing objects based on declared type after completion of the analysis achieves almost the same precision as enforcing the types during the analysis. So therefore, we notice that during the analysis, between 15% to 20% of the points of sets at dereference sites are over 1000 elements in size. These large sets increase memory requirements prohibitively and slow the analysis considerably. We therefore recommend enforcing declared types as the analysis proceeds, which eliminates almost all these large sets. Further, based on the observation, it is focused on analysis that respect a declared types for the remainder of the paper. As discussed earlier, the call graph used for an interprocedural points to analysis can be constructed ahead of time using, for example, the CHA or on the fly as the analysis proceeds for greater precision. The abbreviations for these variations are CHA and OTF respectively. Computing the call graph on the fly increases the number of points to sets of size 0, dereference sites determined to be unreachable, but has a smaller effect on the size distribution of the remaining sets. So it is understood the handling of field dereference expressions in a field-based and field-sensitive manner. Comparing the on-the-fly graph and the CHA call graph for each benchmark, it is observed that the field-sensitive analysis is more precise than the field-based analysis. Thus, it is probably worthwhile to do field-sensitive analysis if the cost of analysis is reasonable. And with appropriate solver, the field-sensitive analysis can also be made to be quite competitive to the field-based analysis. Now let's look at the factors which affect performance. Set implementation. As we looked before, there are many types of sets like hash set, bit set, a hybrid set, sorted array sets, which are the four different implementations that can be used for points to set. Now, for both algorithms that were mentioned, that is the iterative algorithm and the incremental worklist algorithm, we respected declared types during the analysis, used a CHA call graph, and simplified the pointer assignment graph by collapsing cycles and variables with common predecessors as described. Now, the graph space column shows the space needed to store the original pointer assignment graph, and the remaining space column shows the space needed to store the points to sets. The data structure storing the graph is designed for flexibility rather than space efficiency. It could be made smaller if necessary, so in any case, its size is linear in the size of the program being analyzed. The terrible performance of the hash set implementation is disappointing, as this is implementation provided by the standard Java library. Clearly, anyone serious about implementing an efficient points to analysis in Java must write a custom set representation. And the sorted array set representation is prohibitively expensive using the iterative algorithm, but becomes reasonable using the incremental worklist algorithm, which is designed explicitly to limit the size of the sets that must be propagated. The bit set implementation is much faster, as told before, but still than the sorted array set implementations. However, especially when used with the incremental worklist algorithm, its memory usage is high because the many small sets are represented using the same bit vector as large sets. In addition to the incremental worklist splits, each points to set into two halves, making the bit set representation use twice the memory. Finally comes the hybrid set implementation, which is faster than the bit set implementation while maintaining modesty memory requirements. So therefore, we have found that the hybrid set implementation be consistently the most efficient over a wide variety of settings of other parameters, and therefore recommended that is always being used. Let's see how points to set propagation algorithms affect performance. The iterative algorithm is consistently slowest and is as given baseline only. All measurements were made using the hybrid set implementations and without any simplification of the pointer assignment graph. And in the graph space column shows the space needed to store the original pointer graph, and the remaining space shows how much needed to store the points to sets. The worklist algorithm is usually about twice as fast as the iterative algorithm. For the CHA field-based analysis, the algorithm is consistently the faster even than in the incremental worklist algorithm. This is because the incremental worklist is designed to propagate only the newly added part of the points to set in each iteration, but the CHA field-based analysis requires only a single iteration. Therefore, any benefit from its being incremental is outweighed by the overhead of maintaining two parts of every set. However, both field sensitivity and on-the-fly call graph construction require iteration, so for these, the incremental worklist algorithm is consistently fastest. It's also noted that the speed up comes from with a cost in the memory required to maintain these two parts of every set. Simplifying the pointer assignment graph by merging nodes known to have equal points to set speeds up the analysis. When respecting declared types, a cycle can only be merged if all the nodes in the cycle have the same declared type, and a subgraph with a unique predecessor can only be merged if all its nodes have declared types that are supertypes of the predecessor. So on the benchmark, between 6% and 7% of variable nodes were removed by collapsing cycles compared to between 5% to 6% and when declared types were respected. Between 59% and 62% of variable nodes were removed by collapsing subgraphs compared to between 55% and 58% when declared types were respected. On the other hand, when constructing the call graph on the fly, no interprocedural edges are present before the analysis begins. So this means that any cycle spanning multiple methods are broken and the corresponding nodes cannot be merged. So when constructing the call graph on the fly, simplifying the pointer assignment graph before the analysis has little effect, and on the fly cycle detection methods should be used instead. Based on the experiments, there are three analyses that have been selected and that is recommended as good compromises between precision and speed with reasonable space requirements. The first one is OTFFS. It is suitable for application requiring the highest precision. For this analysis, the incremental work list algorithm works the best. The second one is OTCHAFS is much faster but with a drop in precision as compared to OTFOFS, mostly because it includes significantly more call edges. For this analysis, the incremental work list algorithm works the best. And the last one is OTCHAFB. For this, there is a fast test analysis completing in a single iteration, but it is also the least precise. For this analysis, the non-incremental work list algorithm can be used and which works the best. And for each of these analyses should be implemented using the hybrid set, because it is the best. The total space includes the space used to store the pointer assignment graph as well as the points to set. So they were reported separately in different tables. The precision is measured as a percentage of field dereference sites at which the points to set of the pointer being dereferenced has size 0 or 1. Let's look at some of the related works. The most closely related work are various adaptations of Points to analysis for C to Java. Raunton, Milanova and Ryder, reference paper 20, based their field-sensitive analysis for Java on Suite and the Bain, which is reference number 5, constraint solving toolkit on which further points to analysis work has been done. Their analysis was field-sensitive, constructed the call graph on the fly and ignored declared types until after the analysis completed. And then Whaley and Lamb's approach is interesting that it adapts the demand-driven algorithms of Haynes and Tadu, which is the reference paper 1415, to Java. The intermediate representation on which their analysis operates is different from Gimple. Rautenov, Milanov, and Ryder's analysis are based in that it does not split stack locations based on UD webs. Instead, it uses intra-method flow sensitivity to achieve a similar effect. Our comparisons with these two other previous works for points to analysis for Java illustrates two main important points. First, it would be nice if we could compare the analysis head-to-head on the same system with the same assumption but about what code needs to be analyzed. Second, it appears that Spark allows one to develop efficient analysis that compare very favorably with previous work. Liang, Pennings, and Harold tested several variations of Java points to analysis, including subset-based and equality-based variation, field-based and the field-sensitive variations, and constructing the call graph using CHA and RTA. Instead of analyzing benchmarks with the standard class library, they hand-coded a model of most of the commonly used JDK 1.1.8 standard classes. Thus, we cannot make direct comparisons since our results were based on all the library code. Finally, concluding, the paper presents Spark, which is a flexible framework for experimenting with points to analysis for Java. The empirical results that have shown that Spark is not only flexible but also competitive with points to analysis that have been implemented in other frameworks. So thus, using Spark, various factors affecting precision and efficiency of points to analysis have been studied. And the study has led to recommend 3 specific analyses, and it is showed that they compare favorably to the other analyses that have been described in the literature. The paper also presents that it have several improvements to Spark. First, it would create an on-the-fly pointer assignment graph builder so that the entire pointer assignment graph need not be built for an on-the-fly call graph analysis. Second, they would like to add Haynes and Todo's demand-driven propagation algorithm to Spark. The paper also presents some of the future works that is in their plan. First, that is implementing points to analysis using reduced ordered binary decision diagrams to store the large, often duplicated sets. And the second, to study the effects of various levels of context sensitivity on Java points to analysis. And the third is to experiment with various clients of the points analysis. Thank you.